the streets of the city fall into silence and everything slows down, some truths wake up, truths that remain hidden from our eyes. One such truth lies within the hospital's morgue, where human life has ended, but their souls seem to linger for reasons unknown. This is the story of one such truth, where the boundary between reality and the supernatural blurs. You never truly realize how terrifying the truth can be until you experience it yourself. This is the tale of Ayesha, a young nurse who worked in a well-known hospital in a large city. She worked the night shift and often found herself uneasy, especially near the morgue. It wasn't the dead bodies that bothered her, but something deeper, something she couldn't explain. The morgue's proximity always sent chills down her spine. The air was heavy, the silence overwhelming, and there was a strange coldness that lingered around it. One night, while on her shift, Ayesha heard strange sounds coming from near the morgue. The sounds were unsettling, like groaning or faint whispers loud enough to make her heart race. But when she moved closer to investigate, the noises immediately stopped. She tried to brush off the eerie feeling, but deep inside, something told her that there was more to this place than what met the eye. The following night, Ayesha decided to find the source of the unsettling sounds. As her shift was nearing its end, she walked toward the morgue. The door was as usual, locked and silent. Hesitated for a moment, then pushed the door open and entered. The morgue was unnervingly cold. The dim light flickered above, casting shadows over rows of dead bodies. These were the same bodies she had seen countless times, but tonight something felt different. There was a strange, almost foul odor in the air, and the entire atmosphere seemed suffocating. As Ayesha moved closer to one of the bodies, she noticed something strange. Its face seemed almost alive. Its eyes were wide open, fixed in an eerie stare. There was a red mark around its mouth, as though something had been forcefully placed inside it. The sight made Ayesha's heart skip a beat. Suddenly, a terrifying shriek echoed through the room, making Ayesha freeze. It sounded as if one of the dead had come back to life, and it wasn't just a noise. It felt like something was shifting in the morgue, moving beyond the dead bodies. Panicking, Ayesha began to walk away from the body, but as she did, she heard something following her. She turned to see the door behind her slowly closing, as though something or someone was trapping her inside. The air grew colder and the lights flickered even more violently. Just as she tried to make her way to the door, it slammed shut before her eyes. Suddenly, she felt as though the entire morgue had come alive. It wasn't just a room filled with dead bodies anymore. It was a dark, sinister place alive with malevolent energy. The dead weren't just lying there. They were awake, conscious, and something was holding them. There's something beyond human understanding. In a panic, Ayesha ran to a nearby shelf and grabbed an old, dusty book. As she flipped through its pages, she uncovered an ancient secret. The book described the morgue not just as a place for the dead, but as a cursed ground, a place where the dead spirits could never leave and where dark magic kept them from moving on. Those who enter the morgue may never leave, the book warned. They are bound to the souls trapped here forever. Ayesha's heart raced as she read the book's chilling words. She realized that the shrieks, the strange presence, and the coldness in the air were not just supernatural phenomena. They were the trapped souls desperate to return to the world of the living. But something darker was at play. The morgue was alive with the energy of the dead, and a force far stronger than Ayesha had anticipated had control over them. She tried to leave, but the more she fought, the more she felt herself being pulled back. Every door she tried to open slammed shut. Every path she took led to more darkness, more chilling whispers. The dead were all around her, their eyes fixed on her as if they were judging her or perhaps waiting for her to make the wrong move. Ayesha could hear their whispers, but she couldn't understand them. All she knew was that the morgue held their spirits in some twisted, dark magic that never allowed them to leave. Desperate to escape, Ayesha turned to the book one last time, hoping to find a way out. But the answer was horrifying. Once you are part of this place, you will never escape. The dead claim you, and your soul becomes one with the others. Ayesha screamed in terror as the shadows around her began to move. The dead bodies shifted, their eyes glowing faintly in the dark, and she realized with utter horror that she was not alone. She was one of them, now trapped, forever bound to the morgue with no way out. By the time the morning staff arrived, they found Ayesha's lifeless body lying on the cold floor of the morgue. There were no signs of trauma, no visible cause of death, but her eyes were wide open, filled with an unexplainable was as if she had seen something that no one should ever see. To this day, the morgue remains a place of dark rumors and whispers. Those who work there at night say they sometimes hear faint screams and see shadows moving in the corners of the room. Some claim they felt cold hands touch them when no one else was around. The truth behind the morgue's eerie power remains unknown, but one thing is certain: something malevolent lurks within, waiting for the next soul to claim.